Hey everyone, Supreme Com here. So we are going to be talking about this banner over here. This is a event capsule banner that comes back every other month, or every month to be exact. So this time around, we have the new alteration for this guy over here, the F91, and then as well as two blue or two 3-star units. That is going to be the PT Bear guy here, and then the Buster Gundam here. So while on this page instead of the alteration page, because I want to talk about the alteration tool that you're gonna need. So they added a new alteration tool called the alteration tool sub over here. So this one is currently is only for these limited or these event parts over here. So I'm gonna try to do some rolls over here because I have done rolls on these already, and then the rate for the alteration tool sub is so bad. So when you do complete 40 of the Warfare Events EX stage, you are able to get one. So, but there's so many different parts you can alterate, and then you only have one. So, that's why I want to just give you guys a brief idea of like how bad the driver is over here. So I do have 5K of the event. Um, what should we call it? 5K of the event points over here, so I should be able to do two multi summons, no problem here. How many more can I get? Okay, so I can't really do a third multi summon, so we're gonna do this real quick, and then we're gonna hop over to the alteration page just to talk about which one to really pick up for now, because these one will come back every month. So there's no really rush, no not in the rush to get everything alterated at the same days or the same week to be exact. So let's do two rows over here and see what are the drop rate over here. I should have put it on auto sell for some of the other parts. So nothing good here. So I can't even get one of those event parts, which is unfortunate. Let me do auto sell and then do this here. Okay, let's do one more time. So hopefully we can get the alteration to sub. I think that's gonna be the huge one we need to get. Yeah, nothing. So this gives you guys a good idea of like these kind of parts are, or this capsule over here, the rate is too low. So now let's go back to the alteration page. All right, we are here already. So with one given alteration to sub, which one of the parts you want to get for this very first week introduction of these alteration parts over here? So let's do start out with the F91 to just briefly go over what we have over here. So we do have 8 parts to go over. So I'm going to try to speed through it. I'm not really going to take a look at the stat comparison because these are event parts. So don't expect too many great numbers out of them. In terms of the F91, we do have a build project already. A build project F91. So that one will obviously be a lot more better than this guy over here. This one is gonna be MEP mode over here. So in the build project version of it, this one is actually a custom EX skill over here. Even the tags, Gundam type and pro tag, back then it was good. Like before, they kind of changed up the war tag ish kind of here. So this one, war tag wise, not really can't really concern about too much over here. This one after alteration, just gonna be raise up 20% to speed to yourself. This is only to yourself. Shot attack up by 39%, which is pretty good, and then 19% to melee attack, which is a pretty good split, I would say. Not the most ideal. Is this something you want to alterate? Probably not the most case scenario. Not. I think this base one. I think most people would just have this at level 1, and then this is the number you're gonna get. Not the most impressive number because with some archer stand, I think that one will come up to a better number than this one over here. So this one you shouldn't really alterate it. Moving on to the chest over here. In terms of the stat, really low for offensive, but pretty high. I would say pretty mediocre ish for the defenses as well. Pretty high armor. That's something right there. Pretty high. In terms of tags, we're looking at mid range and pro tag. So a pretty so this F91 is more of like a versatile all around fighter. So you're gonna see tags that ranges in between melee and shot build, of course. In terms of the portrait, so they are trying to be a little bit more modernized with these kind of portrait. The second portrait is one of those modern one, but that one is locked to a leg part EX skill, so that is not going to be too usable in any of the other EX skills. So this one I would say a not good option as well. That portrait doing a flat digit of a 35 is not good at all, so we can skip that as well. Moving to the arm over here, how are the stat looking? So keep in mind the arm is a arm plus integrated shield. That's why you see the number are kind of absurd over here. But in terms of the tag, this one is a pretty healthy melee oriented tag over here, so that's good. Pro tag and high mobility. In terms of the portrait, pretty good. I would say this one they are trying to do a little bit do good on this one. With bazooka category equipped, special shooting power does get a boost of 30%. So this one can be a viable option, but the special shot is a little bit too specific, which is not going to be beneficial for like raising an EX skill because I don't think this do right because this one's specifically for that shooting special shot. So probably not the best case scenario. In terms of the second portrait, it's only dedicated to the T build, so S and P is not going to get a benefit out of this. So this one may not, judging by the fact that we are currently not able to get that alteration sub tool easily. So this one is probably a skip for now. All right, moving on to the leg over here, we have an ESQ over here. It's one of those more generic ones. So ooh, but wait a minute, look at the split. We have A plus and B plus. That is actually pretty good. Spinning beam saber over here. This on hit lower your enemy comply melee defense by 19%. And in terms of the trait or the tags, pro attack and high mobility, pretty solid one. In terms of the stat, that's actually pretty good to be honest. Like, I would say the melee attack is like the offensive stat. It's on the low end tier, but you kind of do make it up for that melee defense. But this is won't be a top tier if you ask me. So, if you purely want the EXQ, I think you can pick something else instead of this one over here. I don't think this one will give you any. Not gonna really give you any too good of a uh how do you feel? It's not gonna offer you too much of a benefit over here. So I would say the leg is just really personal, whether or not you like it or not. In terms of the backpack over here, in terms of the stat is yeah, it's on the low end tier again. That shot attack is borderline average in a way. That shot defense does kind of make up for it, but like I said, this is not gonna be something you will run as a main build. Obviously, you got the Whisper over here, not bad. I would say the Whisper is a pretty good option to Ultra because you are looking at a B plus power, 7 magazine, which is a little bit low. And that A period, that's actually not bad, but most people will have a level 1, which is going to be a B plus with 4 magazine. So just judging by that, this is not a good option at all. Because like most alternated magazine does go up to 8. So this one being at a 4 is kind of a disadvantage already. So I would say this is not something you want to alterate at all. Alright, moving on to the beam rifle over here. In terms of the stat, you are looking pretty decent over here. In terms of tag, you're looking at a pretty evenly split. In terms of the portrait, this is one of the better one I would say, coming out of the free like event part. And beam saber is equipped. Initial charge EX skill charge boost by 20%. So this one is always going to be viable. This art, I would say timeless EX skill over here. This one always comes in handy. And instead of second portrait, beam ranged weapon with low speed boost by 25%. So that Visper would get a pretty good sizable recharge for this one. But I don't know. I don't think this one goes into the cooldown, right? Because this one is specifically, I'm not too sure, like correct me if I'm wrong. I think this one is more of like once you use the round, how fast it reloads onto the next one. I think this one is only specific to that. I don't think this ties into any of the EXQ reduction or none of that. So do let me know if I'm wrong. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. So in terms of the bazooka, I would say the bazooka is probably one of the best parts you want to alterate. Here's the being why. Look at this. This is a well modernized portrait you will see in any of like even today's Sokai or like a banner limited festival ones. With beam saber equipped, EXQ power boost by 30%. That's good. And then we're shooting a beam, shooting power with attacking with beam. Excuse me. shooting power boost by 35%. So this is a excellent portrait over here. Bravo, bravo. This one is well done. There are two stipulations. You have to use a beam saber on your skin or on your main build, whichever one you guys are running. And then you are only locked to using beam weaponry, which is not the biggest deal. You can always low power. Whoops. You can always compensate that, no problem. So this one, I would say that's a pretty good check. Check in the box for me if you want to alterate something, right? So this one is pretty good. All right, moving down to the Buster Gundam over here for a more utility-wise kind of stuff you want to use over here. All right, in terms of the Buster, let's see what we're looking at over here. In terms of the Buster, the stat is low tier. I would say under like below average in a way. In terms of the portrait over here, this one, like the first portrait was already good on initial release, but the second portrait, like, why? Why did they reverse that? Like, if they would have give this another, like a EXQ power boosting, you already know this one will be a good part. Nonetheless, I don't think this one don't need an alteration because of the fact you get this on first like pre-alteration rating. So I think this one will be a pretty good option. A just non-alterated. So skip this over here. In terms of the chest, it's EXQ over here. The stat is nothing gonna be nothing good, obviously. In terms of the tag, you are looking at long range and for desert. Not the most common link over here or trait, but long range can be a sneaky good option if you guys can build something around that. In terms of the portrait over here, offensive up beta. Raise your ally melee and shot attack by 39%, so that is pretty good. If I recall before alteration, this one is already at 39%. Do correct me on that. I think it's already 39%. So if that's the case, I don't think this one needs an alteration at all. Alright, moving on to the arm, the only parts that I have alterated so far because not gonna be looking at any of the stat over here, obviously. And then in terms of the portrait, we are looking pretty good. Pretty good portrait. Did I say good portrait? Excuse me. EXQ. The EXQ is the Archer. Is it? What's the symbol here? Let me know what's the symbol here because I don't know. I'm just gonna call it the symbol Y for now. This one is gonna raise your shot attack of your squad by 49%. So this one is a good equivalent or the same equivalent to the Taliges 2 head. That one, the Taliges 2 is had the same condition as this one, but that one is a combat stand. Is it combat stand or no offensive up? Yeah, offensive of alpha. So that one is the best one up there. But unfortunately, I did not alterate it back in the day, so we don't know what is the schedule for a rerun of a alterated event part. So we might not ever see it until like next year, for example, right? So if you guys do want a pretty sizable 49% buff over here, this one would be pretty helpful in many events over here. So that's my recommendation for me personally. I alterate this one just because of this utility over here. All right, moving now to the leg over here. What are we looking at? Stat is not looking too impressive at all. In terms of the text, you're looking around the same as the previous parts. In terms of the leg gear skill, we are looking at an anti-armor shotgun over here. So this one does bump it up to a B plus and D tiers, which is I think should be pretty good, right? I never actually tested out because pre-alteration, the split was terrible. So fire gun launcher forward and beam rifle backward to spray the area with bullets. I think this one can be a pretty good option. I will actually try it out myself afterwards just to see how good it is. But if you guys do like this skill, I mean, be my guest. But with the fact we have limited resources right now, I think this one would be a hold or skip for now. Alright, moving now to the backpack over here. The stat is not going to be anything impressive. The tech are the same. In terms of the backpack over here, you do get a power attribute, shooting power boost by 25%. So actually, the initial release of Buster, the backpack when the head was a good sub slot. I don't even think was sub slot an option back then already before when this guy came out. I don't think so, right? But with the second portrait, when armor is 60% or more, long shot attack raised by 20%. So this one is a pretty good option as well for like new players just trying to get something started with over here. But I would say you guys have seen my posts on those in the event capsule. You know how bad the rate is, so just getting this one to a level 10 will take quite some long time. So by the time you get this guy to level 10, I would say you might probably have a good Sokai option already. So I mean, this one can be a skip for now. Alright, moving on to the rifle or the long rifle over here. Hyper Impulse Long Range Sniper Rifle. That's a long name. No pun intended. Alright, in terms of the stat, nothing impressive. In terms of the EXQ over here, next shot over here. B pierce and B plus power, not gonna be the greatest damage dealing over here. So this one I would say is a skip for now. So of all the parts I would recommend for the Buster is probably only be the arm, or if any case the backpack can be a good option as well. But alright, let's move on to this guy over here, the Panty Bear guy. Let's see if anything is good to mention over here. Stat is not anything good in terms of attack, amphibious, and for computer. Amphibious can be a good sneaky option for like different types of event builds in a way. So but this one over here, Bubble Barrier, boost your defensive capability. Okay. Wait, is that an effect or just how it is? No, that's not the actual effect. That is part of like the quote. Raise defense by 39% and then raise your beam and physical resistance by 29%. I would say this one is a good option if you guys are like a tanking unit or like a defensive based unit. I think this one can be helpful to you all. But if you guys are a defensive build, I think a lot of people are already running enemy EXQ power down. I think those can be a good option already. So just having this one as the EXQ, I don't think it's gonna provide too many of a great utility. So I think this one is a hot skip right here. Right, moving on to the chest plus the leg integrated over here. This one is gonna be a Penti tackle over here, B minus damage. Yeah, there's no way you want to alterate this one. Having a B minus damage is really low, so this is not gonna be a good option at all. Alright, moving on to the arm over here. What is this over here? This really highly depends on whether or not you like this EXQ over here. B plus power is obviously not too bad, but just like I said, due to a limited resource for this guy of the Alteration tool, I think this one will be a hot skip for now. Alright, in terms of the backpack wise over here, wow, this one is good. If you guys are running the amphibious tag, this one is a pretty good option for that build, for that shot build base over here. Power attribute, close shot raised by 14%, and then with the amphibious, shooting power boost by 30%. Okay, this one is a pretty good option over here for that amphibious tag. So if you guys are looking for the good option, this one it is. Good tag as well. You got that pair up with your high firepower, so you are good to go. Alright, in terms of the mini Saku machine gun, how are we looking at? In terms of the part trade, this one is specifically for the amphibious tag. Initial EXQ charge boost by 12%. 12% is not enough, I would say, so this one may not be a good choice. In terms of the second part trade, it's not going to be anything too groundbreaking, so I think this one staying at pre-alteration will be just fine enough already. So this is just a brief overview of like what I think are something good. Do let me know in which one you guys have picked if you guys are trying to alterate something over here. Like I said again, these parts are quite hard to obtain, like for example the F91. Even until now, I have not completed the full suit yet. But as for the Buster Gundam and the Penti Bear guy, I think those two are a little bit more easier to obtain. And then I'll probably go for something that's a little bit more utility wise, like the EXQ utility ish over there. So that being said, hopefully this give you a good just a good idea of like which one you want to pick, and then just give you as a really good example of like how bad the rate are for those event capsule over here. So with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and then I will catch you guys on the next one.